asked me to do.
I'm not going to record it, okay? If you want to make a complaint, I don't understand what the issue is, okay? I'm asking you respectfully what the issue was with my officer, okay? I'm not being disrespectful.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
How have I been disrespectful?
Because you're infringing my free right. My free right of recording.
Okay, well, tell me what the problem is.
You're a peace officer, and you're saying I cannot record it. You won't talk to me.
Sir, tell me what the problem is.
The problem is we were preaching the gospel. He came over and told me that I had to stop because I was too loud and I was offending people.
Okay.
Which excuse me, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Which I have a constitutional right to do it. Then B, he went on to say that as long as I stayed within the confines of religion or politics, that I could preach.
Okay.
But if I stepped outside of those bounds, then I would be disturbing the peace, and if I offended someone, I could be arrested.
Okay, well,
that is wrong. The Constitution says I can stand on that box and talk about Jell-O if I want to,
sure.
and I have the right to do it.
Absolutely.
And if I offend somebody, then
if you're being disorderly, and the officer asks you to lower your voice because you're being disorderly, then you are violating a crime. I wasn't here when it took place, but if you're being loud and disorderly and yelling and disturbing the peace, then it's a disorderly conduct charge, sir.
I've already reviewed the Frederick County Law before I came here. We review the law. As a matter of fact, the gentleman who's preaching right now has a copy of it in his bag. Okay. And if you would like to review it with him, we would love to.
I'm talking about the state law.
I'm talking about Frederick City Limit Law, where we are standing right now, which would apply to us.
Okay, we're in the state of Maryland, okay? The law I'm talking about is a state law. Mm-hmm. It's called disorderly conduct. Mm-hmm. So if you're yelling and screaming loud, you're not going to be able to do that, okay? And acting in a disorderly fashion.
Mm-hmm. What I'm not addressing that.
Okay.
I'm addressing the fact that he has pigeonholed the only two groups that have freedom of speech are Christians and politicians. Okay. That is a blatant lie. Everybody has the right of free speech. And I got him on camera. He specifically said, yes, if you're outside of those confines, then there's an issue. Sir. That is incorrect.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he was speaking in reference to you being loud and disorderly.
No, he was not. I asked him I could show you the video. I will email the video to you on Monday. Okay. Point blank asked him the specific question. Okay. She's got it on camera. I've got it on camera. My friends have it on camera. Okay. That's abuse of police power. That is incorrect. And I don't mind by abiding by the law, which that's why we always carry the law with us. We review the law before we come into an area because we want to be respectful to you as a peace officer as well as those around us and make sure we're not in violation. Okay. And we are not in violation. But yet he made the comment
over here is, you hear how loud he is?
Do you hear how loud the music is?
I understand that, but the music is allowed. The city has allowed the music to happen. Okay?
And I also know that the city has a decibel rating, and if you have an A-rated meter, you can measure his sound.
So the disorderly conduct doesn't matter.
That's not disorderly conduct.
Okay.
That wouldn't hold up in a court of law. Okay. That's free speech rights.
What exactly is your complaint, and what do you want to have done?
My complaint is that you have an officer that is misinterpreting the Constitution by saying that any group outside of a religious group or a politician, if they got up and did the same thing that my friend is doing right now, that they would be in violation. Okay. That is incorrect. Free speech does not end at the beginning of this event. Free speech is throughout this event on public sidewalks and streets.
As long as you're not being disorderly, would you agree?
That's up to the interpretation of the judge, and I'll tell you right now that there have been many court cases across the nation. If you go up and tell him you're going to arrest him, they're going to sue you and the city, and you're going to find that you were wrong because it's not disorderly conduct.
I'm not telling you we're going to go up and tell him. I'm going to tell him that he needs to lower his voice because he's acting in a disorderly.
And you know what he's going to tell you? He's going to pull out the law, which he has, and he's going to say you need to have an A-rated.
Do you have a copy of the law?
No, he does. But he's going to show you have to have an A-rated meter, which you should know as an officer.
Not
you have
for
to have
disorderly conduct.
No. You have to have an A-rated meter because you're basing it on
disorderly conduct.
You're basing it on the volume of his voice.
No, we're not.
You just said you're basing it. He's not drunk. He's not hindering anybody.
It doesn't matter if you're being loud and disorderly. Then that's disorderly.
That's not what the law says. The law says within the confines of 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Or no, is it 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.?
You're reading the city law. Are you familiar with the state law? Disorderly conduct?
He's got. He lives in the District of Columbia, so he knows the law. I'm just saying.
The District of Columbia is different than Maryland.
No, I understand that. So, but what I'm saying is that the law is very clear. But as long as you're not above, I believe it's 65 decibels or 10 over.
Not for disorderly conduct.
But disorderly conduct, he's not. It's his voice. You're offended by his voice, nothing else. He's not drunk and he's not hitting people. There's not one thing he's doing except using his voice.
Okay, well, I don't know what you were doing, okay, but obviously the officer told you that you were probably acting in a disorderly manner. So
No, that's incorrect. Because after I told him I had the constitutional right, he backed off because he thought he was going to pull one over on me, which many officers in the country do. And we know our rights. That's why we come into here with knowing what the law is, what the constitutional right is. Okay, state law does not trump constitutional rights. Okay, so he came over and told me that I needed to shut up or get down. And then he changed his tune, which this is on camera, then he changed his tune to say, well, as long as you stay within the confines of religion or politics, then you can talk. And I said, all I have is the Bible to preach. I'm not selling hot dogs or widgets. I'm only preaching the gospel. Okay, so that's my point. My point is,
what do we need to do from here is, I guess, my next question.
my point is that if you are his superior, then simply educating him on these issues so that next time this happens, it's cut and dry. He knows, because I would fear for a woman that decided to say, hey, get breast exams every month because breast cancer is prevalent, and then he says, oh, that's outside of the confines of religion and politics. You're being a nuisance. We're going to get you out of here.
Well, I will speak with him in reference to it, and we will take care of the situation so that he's familiar with what's going on.
I appreciate it. Now, what is your superior's name, Mr. Snyder?
Sergeant Simmons.
Sergeant Simmons.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll make sure that we can get some video to you and Sergeant Simmons, and my counsel will be in touch with you regarding the issue. And
I just asked you if you were happy with me speaking to the officer and taking care of educating him in reference to what the law was, and you said yes.
Well, yes, I am happy with that. I did clearly state I'm very happy with you doing that. That's a first step, and that's a good step.
Okay.
But at the same time, we don't want to come out here, which we've come out here, this is probably our 5th year in a row, and we, 1 year we came with amplification, they said don't use it. Guess what? None of us here have an amplifier. We're respecting the law. We're respecting the law, and that's what we're here for, to respect the law. But we also want to be respected as individuals, that we have a constitutional right, and when they come out and start saying stuff like that, that's not respecting us. That's just trying to get us to move on. And at that point, that becomes illegal, because what you're doing is you're squelching our rights. And so this officer has squelched our rights very clearly, and I've got it on at least 5 cameras. And I don't want to take it any further than where we're at now. I have a court case in Hagerstown right now, just to let you know. There's a court case pending there because an officer did the exact similar thing. And my counsel got in touch with the city attorney. We're working through that right now. I don't want to go through that. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to go through that. I just want officers to give us the rights that we have without an issue. That's all I want. It's as simple as that.
Can I just get your name so I know who I'm talking to?
Am I being arrested for a crime?
You're not, but I just want, so I know, since we're dealing with the situation, I just want to know who I'm talking to.
My name is Nate, N-A-T-E.
Is it Nate or Nathan? Or?
It's Nate, N-A-T-E.
What's your last name, Nate?
I'd rather not give my last name.
Okay, sir. Do you need anything else from me today?
Do you have a card?
It's funny how you want my name, but I can't get your name.
Well, I already have your name. But
I understand that. To document everything that's going on, I need to know who I'm talking to, I mean, that's kind of how we work the whole thing.
No, I understand that, but unless I'm being arrested for a crime, I'd rather not give my full name for identification purposes.
I'll be more than happy to give you a card.
Thank you.
My email's on there. There's my voicemail.
That way I can get, I can get direct touch with you. And I don't have to go through your superior, which I don't want to do that.
Sure.
But I want you to see documentation of what, of what was said, because I don't want it to be, well, my officer wouldn't say that, and I'm not saying you would say that, but I want you to see the documentation that, in fact, he's saying this and it's not right. It's definitely not right. And so, like I said, we're here to respect you guys. We do respect you. We appreciate your protection and service to the city. We admire what you guys are doing. You guys are on the front lines. We're not here to hype someone's wallet. We're not here to do a drug deal. You know what I'm saying? We're here to transform hearts by the preaching of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and that's the only reason we're here.
I got you.
And so I don't want to be picked by Mr. Sullivan over here as being some fanatic wacko, because I'm not. I mean, we're just like he is. We're just preaching the gospel. People walk by, they don't want to hear it, they don't hear it. I mean, there have been plenty of people that have said things that are so offensive that I could have said, hey, he just told me this, and she just kicked my box, and she did this, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm here for. So.
Okay, very good, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.